In this video, we will be examining the engineering behind this submersible vehicle, which is used primarily for exploring the wreckage of the Titanic and the scientific research for data collection. Moving into the interior is the game controller that will be used for piloting the vessel. Tilting or pushing the stick like this results in the forward movement of the drone. We will also be looking at the step-by-step process of how this drone works and the various versions of what could have happened. Is it implosions that occurred deep down in the ocean depth, which shattered the Titan vessel into 5 various parts or debris? So stay tuned and don't miss a beat. OceanGate Titan. This is not a submarine, but the Titan is a Cyclops-class manned submersible. But what's the difference between the two? The primary difference between a submersible and a submarine is that the submersible is launched from a mother vessel or home vessel. They are typically launched on a raft or platform, which is placed into the ocean, and ultimately descends via 4 electric thrusters, which helps it to reach speeds of around 3 knots. But a submarine can dive underwater without any external equipment and surface all through the process of buoyancy. These are the basic system that makes up the submersible. Number 1. The mothership named the Polar Prince, which is actually an icebreaker. Number 2. The ramp that transports the vessel up to a certain department. Number 3. The OceanGate Titan itself. Let's look at its specification. The vessel has a length of 22 feet 6.7 meters, which is pretty small considering it can go to great depths, while it has a breadth of around 9.2 feet or 2.8 meters. And it has a height of 8.3 feet or 2.5 meters. Comparing this to an average human will help us visualize how small it is. Even better, let's compare this to a small SUV to help us understand its dimension better. Interestingly, it can carry around 5 people, a pilot, and 4 passengers, who have to sit on the floor and have limited room to move around. Imagine sitting like this for 8 hours. If someone asks the question, what if nature calls? Yes, there's a toilet on the submersible, but is only separated from the rest of the capsule by a privacy curtain located at the front of the submarine. The interior of the vessel is pretty simple. You will have a joystick, which is actually a video game controller, and 2 monitors to help steer the vessel. One is for the sonar, and the other one placed on the side is for steering the submersible. This is probably one of the basic deep diving submarine you will ever see. Let's move outside the submersible to understand the engineering behind it. These are the 4 electric thrusters that help steer the vessel. 2 inner space thrusters are placed in a horizontal position as shown here, and 2 more are located on both sides of the vessel are placed in a vertical position. At the back is the electronics equipment and most probably contains oxygen and navigation system. It is an unmanned part of the vessel that also had the ability to even recycle some of the carbon dioxides and pump back the regenerated 50% oxygen into the cabin. This is one of the main reasons the submersible vessel has a 96-hour oxygen as claimed by the company. Interestingly, this is the entrance made up of titanium and opens up just like this. This is the camera of the vessel, which can be viewed from one of the 2 monitors. At the front are 4 lights required for deep-sea diving. With all this equipment, the submersible can go up to depths of 4,000 meters or 13,000 feet at a speed of 2.3 miles per hour or 3 knots. Now that we have established the basic functions, let's take a look at how this works. Step number 1. Mothership, which is the Polar Prince, anchors at a particular spot where the Titanic shipwreck is located. Step number 2. The ramp slowly disembarks from the mothership along with the Titan submersible. Step number 3. It will slowly descend to a certain depth. Step number 4. The small Titan submersible will disengage from the assigned platform. Step number 5. Titan will slowly descend at a low speed of 3 or 4 knots. Step number 6. The pilot will use the joysticks to pilot the vessel. This is how it works. Moving the joystick controller just like this will propel the vessel forward. Tilting the controller back will reverse the vessel with the help of the electric thrusters. If the pilot wants to turn left or right, he will just have to twist the controller and the effects will be as shown in the animations. On the left-hand side of the joystick is the down and up controller. Tilting the controls forward results in the downward descent of the vessel, and pushing the controllers down results in the upward movement of the vessel. Let's look at 5 scenarios through the animations of what might have happened to the OceanGate Titan submersible. Version number 1. The primary objective of the submersible was for tourists to explore the Titanic shipwreck hovering over it, an experience what only a few people were able to achieve. And while doing so, it could have been tangled in the wreckage of the Titanic. Version number 2. The battery might have ceased since it requires the 4 electric propellers to operate them. Version number 3. Due to the extreme pressure in the dark ocean's depth, the only glass present in the vessel might have cracked. Version number 4. The submersible communicates with its mother ship using a sonar system, and it could have been damaged while traveling halfway towards its destinations. Since it does not have any navigation system, the vessel might not be able to steer away from danger. Version number 5. We hope the drone would have resurfaced, but since it could only be opened from the exterior, this would have been an issue to communicate with the rescuers. But we believe, according to reports, there is an implosion, which means it exploded from inside the submersible. And the debris is located just 1,600 feet from the Titanic and consisted of 5 parts as shown here in the animations. This is the interior of the F-16 fighter jet. On the right side is the stick with all its functions. Interestingly, it moves only 1/4 of an inch, but don't be fooled by its limited motion, as it can turn this plane in any direction. Just like this, if you move the stick left, the aircraft will roll to the left. We create original videos from scratch just like this F-16 fighter jet and how it works. Subscribe and watch out for the space, the nuclear submarine, and the engineering behind it rendered and animated in 4K 3D animations.